Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NHL Trade Talk Now. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with NHLTradeTalk.com. As always, these videos brought to you by Fanatics Card Shop. You can go to the marketplace on Facebook, check them out, or you can go to their website and catch all the new breaks, including Upper Deck Series 2. Okay, this video is going to be talking about George Parros, the NHL's Department of Player Safety head. He's been in the news all week based on a couple things. So we'll go backwards a few days. So Tom Wilson gets into a scrum. He pulls Pavel Buchnevich of the New York Rangers down, holds him down by a stick, punches him in the head. Gets a hearing or not a hearing, but he's reviewed by the Department of Player Safety for that. There's no suspension. There's a fine of $5,000. The scrum with Artemi Panarin, where he sort of ragdolls and throws Panarin around, wasn't even reviewable. Parros and the NHL's Department of Player Safety said this is a scrum. It happens all the time. Nothing coming out of that. Of course, then the Rangers went out and said to the NHL and wrote a statement. James Dolan, the owner, said, look, this is ridiculous. How does a guy with this kind of a history and Tom Wilson not get suspended? This is a joke. The Department of Player Safety, what's it even for? And they called for George Parros to be fired. The NHL, in turn, then fined the New York Rangers $250,000 for that statement. When John Davidson, the president of the Rangers, and Jeff Gorton, the GM of the Rangers, did not support James Dolan in his statement, they were both let go. So there's lots going on in the Rangers. Chris Drury's now the GM of that team. It sounds like they're probably going to try to add some physical players in the offseason and hit for next year. We'll see where all this goes. But George Parros has finally spoken for the first time since all of this happened and was asked directly what sort of input Commissioner of the NHL Gary Bettman has when it comes to making these decisions and whether or not Parros is kind of on his own to decide whether or not Tom Wilson gets a suspension or not. And Parros actually said he has no decision making, no bearing on the decisions at all. So Gary Bettman actually is supposed to be removed from the equation. The only time that Parros will ever talk to Bettman is if the league or a team or someone has an issue going in where he has to explain the incident to Bettman so that Bettman can sort of decide what to do as a league decision as a whole. But when it comes to individual suspensions, punishments, fine, Bettman is not involved in this. So there's been a lot of talk that Bettman would have been in concert with Parros when this came out. So it goes to show that maybe there's more going on here. Parros said in an interview, basically, look, if the players don't think I'm doing a good job, the GMs don't think I'm doing a good job, I don't even want the job. Nobody wants it at that point. But he has a department around him that he thinks looks at each case very specifically, does the best job they can possibly do, and that he's doing what he can. So it's been very interesting because a lot of people are all over Parros for this. Some people are siding with him, saying you can't really suspend a guy coming out of a scrum. Panarin shouldn't have jumped on Wilson's back. All that's coming with it. But it now seems to be official that Gary Bettman and George Parros do not work together when it comes to deciding which suspensions are going to be levied, which ones are not, what fines, what size, all that kind of stuff. This is kind of on Parros and his department. And George Laraque was on the Oilers Now broadcast yesterday and was saying, look, he's heard some sources say that this is it for Parros. If he makes another big mistake, because the NHL has looked at this as potentially a decision that they're not kind of happy about, that could be it for him. So this might be one of those things where one more bad call or one more poor decision by Parros could cost him his job. He might resign. You never really know where this is going to go, but he doesn't seem very happy about the fact that people don't like the job he's been doing. He doesn't want it if people don't think he's doing a good job. Bettman was not in concert with him about the suspension for Tom Wilson or the lack thereof. So we'll see how many more of these can happen. There's been like a couple hearings since this Wilson stuff has happened, and again, the suspensions and the fines are sort of all over the place. So we'll see how long Parros is in this position and whether or not he sticks around or somebody new takes over next season. Anyway, we'll have this story on NHLTradeTalk.com. You can like and subscribe to our channel, hit the notification button for future videos, share, comment, let me know what you guys think about this story, and we'll talk to you guys when we have another video.